Time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. Actually, it's our little pre-show behind the scenes. We have a really good show planned for you. We're going to have our social media winner of the week. Is going to win that Logitech MX2 Anywhere wireless mouse. And also, in the second hour, we're going to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to be joining a company called UniKey. We're going to be talking about the Internet of Things, and UniKey basically makes licenses leading manufacturers to their technology. So smart locks. We're going to talk about the Internet of Things, and it's going to be a really interesting show. We plan to cover a lot of interesting talks. Mr. Dirk Wyckoff is here with us, so we're going to be talking to him. So sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America coming at you right now.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it's Friday! Another week of broadcasting excellence in the can, as they say. And we got a terrific show planned for you on this day just before the upcoming weekend. Here's what we want to do. We're going to be, in the second hour of the show, going to be doing computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And also, we have our social media winner of the week. Yeah, we're going to be awarding that Logitech MX2 Anywhere wireless mouse valued at $80. Some lucky person's going to be winning that prize on today's show. And in the first hour, we're also going to be talking to a company called UniKey. We have Mr. Dirk Wyckoff is going to be joining us. He is with UniKey. He's the VP of Sales and Marketing for them. We're going to be talking about smart locks. Using the Internet of Things to control what locks and unlocks your home. I mean, it's a very important topic. How safe is it? Can it be hacked, or can it not be? I mean, listen, everything in the world is going via the internet these days, and so why not your car locks, your door locks? I mean, it's going to be a really interesting topic. We're going to have him speaking on this very subject, and I believe if you have any questions or comments or concerns, we should love to hear from you. If you're listening to us live Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, when we are live, give us a call, 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and we'll get you through. Now, if you're radio shy and you don't want to go on the air with a phone call, we still have a way that you can communicate with us. Just go to our homepage. Just go to ComputerAmerica.com, any page really, at our website. In the upper right-hand corner of any page, it says Submit a Question. It's a link. Click it. It'll take you to our question submission page where you can type in a question or comment, suggestion, hit the submit button. Ben and I will see it instantly, and we'll act accordingly on what it is that you have to say or query. You can do that. The other thing is you can also watch a show. We now provide live video streaming of the Computer America Show. Even though we're a radio talk show, we provide live video streaming. The way that you can get to that is just head over to ComputerAmerica.com. Again, the internet home of our radio broadcast. Any page there on the menu bar, it says Show Lounge. Just click it. You'll be teleported instantaneously to our live video stream already in progress. You'll take it right up to the moment where we are in our show, and you can watch the show. And when you do that, you get all kinds of additional things. Not only do you hear the show, you can see myself, you can see Ben, you can see our guest today, but Ben also has the technology to display websites, videos, flash animations, you name it. He can do it on his system, and so you not only can hear what we're talking about, but you can actually see what we're talking about as well. It just makes for a richer experience here on Computer America. Also, we're going to be giving away our social media winner of the week. We're going to be giving away at Logitech MX2 Anywhere wireless mouse valued at $80. We're going to be doing that as well on today's show. So, and here's the thing: anything that we're doing at Computer America, you can always find at computeramerica.com. But when we're live, which we are now, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, we'd love to hear from you. So please join us again, 347-884-8881. Ben, anything else you want to mention to our guest before we get our guest on our show?
Nope, you touched all the big points. I think we're good to go.
Okay, because we are the broadcasting professionals here. You say we have it all we get it all under our belt. So, UniKey, as I said, they are here today. They are the smart lock pioneer and industry leader in smart access control technology. UniKey's technology replaces keys, replaces codes, and even passwords by turning your smartphone into a convenient, universal electronic key by simply touching the lock or access reader. Sounds cool to me. UniKey has partnered with leading access control manufacturers to bring innovative products to market. Now, here with us today is UniKey's Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Dirk Wyckoff. Dirk, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing great, Craig and Ben. Thanks for having me today. Friday is even a more fun day than normal.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
Yes, and thank you for being with us here. So just to kind of establish what UniKey does, UniKey, I understand, doesn't manufacture the locks or any access control equipment. So what does UniKey actually do?
Yeah, UniKey's behind the scenes, where if you think of an Intel Inside or an Android, there are other people that make products, take them to market, support them, they have their brand name on, but we're the guts for the intelligence and the operating system behind it. We provide authenticating credentials and a whole back-end security system. So UniKey at its core and heart security system that allows incumbents, lock manufacturers that have at times existed for centuries, to be able to disrupt themselves. They've evolved and lived for centuries because they do some things very well and they're an established brand. But in, as you said, the new Internet of Things world, we allow them to take their access control solutions to the next step.
Does it make them nervous? They've always had control of everything, and now they have to come to you to say, hey, we got this really great lock, but we need something to make it secure. I mean, what kind of credentials does UniKey bring to the table so these companies entrust their security and thus their clients' security to you?
Certainly, and I'll address the first one. The lock market, when you look at the physical mechanical lock market, really hasn't changed much, since the dark ages, and it's almost because, from a physical locking standpoint, it does it pretty well, and there hasn't been anything that's come to market that's done it better. There certainly have been iterative changes and so forth, but I think the access control industry looks at this as an element of when and not if. It's coming. The credentials from everything from your wallet to your keychain are moving inside your smartphone. Your smartphone's almost becoming a biometric extension of yourself. So the leading, and we like to think that the smarter access control companies are looking at this as a when and not necessarily as an if. So forward-thinking folks like the largest residential lock manufacturer in the United States and Canada, Kwikset Corporation, brought the first smart lock to market. We'll talk a little bit about what smart locks versus connected locks are, I think, as we get into this. But we allow those folks to bring their trusted and mechanical and electromechanical lock solutions and access control solutions into the next century, or crossing that chasm, to put that credential outside of your employee badge reader or outside of the keychain that I carry and onto that smartphone, but doing it in a more convenient way than people access today. And we believe that's the key to adoption. Otherwise, I think we've just got a safety back door on pieces if you add steps to what's a pretty easy transaction. And At my workplace, that was pulling an employee card out of my back wallet, or my hotel, or at my house, just finding the keys. Now, they get buried in pockets and so forth, but still a pretty simple transaction. And if you can't simplify it, I don't think it's very smart.
Well, okay. Now that sounds great on everything you said, but I'm going to take the devil's advocate approach a little bit here, Dirk, and that is when we make things so easy. I mean, you hear it all the time, you see it all the time, you see it in movies, and they go to a lock and the guy pulls out this little
movies, the thing that you want to hold up the real world to.
Right. He pulls out this electronic device, he puts it in, it goes, and then the door opens up. He breaks the code with this little handheld gizmo. I mean, and we're watching it's a moving. Okay, we just kind of accept it. A suspension of disbelief. In the real world, though, we're entrusting our homes, things. Our home, I think, is like our second to our cars, probably are the most important investment that we ever make. Really, is our home for most of us. So we're entrusting that. What is it you want to say to our listeners who are worried about entrusting things to something like what UniKey has to offer?
Yeah, and it's a great point, because at the end of the day, it's not about pure convenience. It's about convenience without sacrificing that level of security. So the mechanical security stays the same, and at the end, I think we might even be able to laugh about this. This certainly isn't the most vulnerable portion of a typical person's home. So being the first smart lock to market, and smart lock being an automated system on a cell phone, there were certainly full calls in the black hat community to knock us from the sky in 2013 when this product launched. And you can imagine going to market with a company such as Kwikset, who's the #1 residential manufacturer. They have pretty established criteria of white hat and pin testing constantly. So the pieces are consistently tested. They're built on known and established protocols. It's a military-grade security in 3 different algorithms. UniKey uses a PKI interface, and that's a challenge-response architecture. So every transaction between the phone and the lock is unique, meaning in most cases people think of wireless communication being repetitive, or 900 megahertz, or pressing that button on my car key over and over. And the challenge response architecture means that each access is unique in itself, and each one, there are a greater number of possibilities than there are carbon atoms in the known universe. Now, I didn't know what that meant as a sales and marketing person, so I had to look it up, and I found that I think our guys missed 23 zeros in that equation. So quite a grand number of pieces. So 3 established, published security pieces, but the element of securities, a lot of it is in the art rather than the pure published pieces. But it's good to know that of the 3 algorithms and the 3 published security pieces that we use, not a single one has been cracked yet, let alone simultaneously. And my thought usually on that is the person that does that isn't at my front door looking for my kid's iPod. They're usually fighting Bruce Willis and draining our Federal Reserve. Fortunately for us, as we can say, if somebody wants to get into your home, there are a lot of easier ways to get into your home than through the electronic methods of this locking technology.
Break a window or something.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're
through new construction goes through like butter.
Right. I'm glad we're going with the overarching theme of slight terror in your home. But I think you're absolutely right, and that's probably an argument that we're probably going to bring up on the show from now on, is that if people do want to break in, these smart locks and smart devices probably aren't the best way. But I guess people are always worried about, because we hear all the time, and yes, Flash has gone away, but we hear it with Flash, we hear it with Gmail, we hear it with this, with that, these 0-day vulnerabilities. But it sounds like you guys haven't really had one where it's just someone has to, I don't know, put in a password, and the whole thing pops open. It sounds like you guys haven't had anything like that happen.
No, and each individual device is individually credentialed at that point. And that means I log in, dirk@unikey.com, into that app. So I'm on the app, it knows me. When I log out of that phone, that credential is removed from that phone, travels with me to a new phone or a simple logout pieces. So individual credentials cannot coexist in devices at the same time. It's another critical element of security. Now, one of the pieces that we do, we're talking about convenience and the aspect that I walk up and touch this lock just with my finger, no fingerprints, anything. That's just how it starts authenticating. So when I touch it, the lock starts communicating and looking for an authorized device or an authorized electronic key, e-key in my device. At that point, it affords me access if I have that electronic credential, and that credential is good for the time of day that I'm trying to get in, and I'm on the outside of the home or the outside of the business. And a key differentiating technology that UniKey brings with all of this is the access control equipment, or the lock knows on which side of the door my device is on. So if I'm peering through the peephole of my hotel, or I'm at the office front door, or at my own peephole at my house, and somebody were to interface with the lock on the outside, that lock knows I'm on the inside. It has attenuation in both front and rear, and that's secreted, patented portion of what UniKey brings to the locking.
I had never even thought of that. My goodness, but that's right. I mean, if the doorbell rings and I go up to the peephole to see who's at my front door, I've got my phone with me, and he touches the lock, and he just comes right in. So the lock is going to know that I'm on the inside of the house, not the outside of the house, and won't grant access to the person that's outside.
Exactly. And let me backtrack a second so our listeners understand how this would work. The technology, the e-key credential residing in your phone, I love to show people our app, because I typically show the app as that. It's a black screen. That phone stays in my pocket. I carry it in my front left pocket for the apple pickers looking for me. My wife carries it in her purse. In the winter, I carry it in an upper pocket of my pea coat. But I don't have to interface with the phone. I don't have to pull it out. That's more complex than pulling out a set of keys. So it persists and runs in the background, and by touching the lock, it wakes the lock up. The lock looks for that credential and opens, and it needs to know if I'm on the front or the rear side. It can't work on geotoken and positionings, which change with the tides and Wi-Fi attenuation. It's just not accurate enough. So it has to know where that phone is, and it has to know if I'm on the inside or outside of my room, my home, my business, whatever it is, to not afford anybody else access.
And it's that accurate. In other words, it knows. I mean, you're only talking about maybe a couple of inches, for the front of the door and the back of the door. How wide is the door? It's not this wide, Exactly.
Exactly. So where you're 1 3/8 or 1 3/4 thick in North America, and everybody's made of different materials. You might be a UPVC door, or wood, or steel. You might have windows. The lock is learning. It's an algorithm that learns and opens based on where I carry my phone, how I carry my phone, my door, the shape of my entryway. So there has to be learning of it up front to give me that convenience and yet not sacrifice that security. So each individual area is different. So we don't ask people to program it. There are no sliding pieces. It's an intelligent piece that uses attenuation on the front and rear side of that door hardware that's put in. It's all secret, hidden right behind the elegance of QuickSet solution, for instance, coming to market is, my wife was thrilled, or sort of mandated, that this happened. It looks like a regular lock from the outside. There's nothing different. It's the #1 selling deadbolt lock in America, the style of the lock. The only difference is it has a neat little LED embedded right in the ring, and when I touch it, it starts working.
I know that. I love that about the QuickSet lock. In other words, it looks like a standard lock, but when you get near it or you touch it, all of a sudden this little blue ring of light LEDs start spinning around and go, whoa! So this is not your ordinary lock.
I get a lot of leniency in my AV rack at home. My wife doesn't afford me the same amount of leniency on the front door. It was awfully important that this look like a regular lock, and it has a regular key too. So for those that don't want to use this technology, they can use a standard good old mechanical key, or mechanical key as a backup. And importantly, it also comes with a fob, and you can buy additional fobs for these solutions as well. And that fob acts just like a phone. It affords me the same touch to open access. So my children who don't take smartphones to school, my youngest one isn't old enough for a smartphone, they have these fob safety pinned in their school backpacks. So when they come home and touch the door, they get that same touch to open convenience without having to pull anything out of their backpack. And me, as a sometimes absentee traveling dad, I get a notification that my kids are home when they get there. It's a little niceties, right? I've got an audit stream, and then we can send keys to other people. I don't have to physically surrender a key to somebody that's watching my home or a maintenance person that's here anymore. You know, in this day and age, you can make a physical copy of a mechanical key with a picture, for goodness sakes.
Yes, that's true. They even have vending machines now at some of the stores where you can actually take the key and make a copy of it. Although there are obviously they're more secure, like Medico. There are Medico keys that you can't duplicate. You know, I mean, there are some that you can, but then it's some that says right on the key that you can't. It requires special hardware to make. But and they're harder to pick. You know, there are advances in the mechanical world, but again, you have to be there physically at the door. If you want to grant access to, let's say, somebody again to your home and you're not going to be there and they need to get in, with this technology, you can do that. I assume you can set it up so that it goes to their smartphone, or how does that actually work? If I want to grant.
I'd send it an electronic key credential, and that credential could be good for 24 hours, 7 days a week, or it could be good, you know, for a housekeeper that just shows up on Tuesdays between 11 and 2 o'clock. So you can program day of the week, time of the week. You can give access. My wife has administrator privileges. She can send e-keys to other people. My children can't send e-keys to other people. They just have 24/7 access. I guess when the girls hit their teen years, maybe we put curfews on them so they can't get into the house if they show up. I'm not sure that's the right message to send, but this could be done too.
But you obviously it affords you a lot more control over who and who can't, you know, get into your home.
And you know, in a home setting, that's definitely something different than just, you know, having 6 keys and only knowing where 5 are, and then you know, it is what it is. But you know, the home setting is one place. I could totally see this something in hotels. In places like that, where I mean, you still get the little plastic cards that you have to swipe, and you know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You have to take them back, blah blah blah. You know, very hit and miss. But I'm assuming that UniKey is obviously pushing this to, you know, the tourism industry.
It's a great point, and there are some solutions on the market, and it does come back to that. Very distinguishable. What is the interface? How do I get into my hotel room? We've partnered in the hospitality space with Miwa Lock Company. Miwa is the largest lock manufacturer in Japan, and they're a worldwide provider of hospitality locking solutions. I'm not sure how many listeners peer at who's on their hotel door in terms of the lock manufacturer. I happen to. I'm burdened and saddled with that for the rest of my life at this point. But Miwa's one of those companies out there, and our technology is the same piece, right? We can all bypass that front desk check-in, which is only a killer for me when I'm there at 1 a.m. and a tourism bus dropped off before me. But to make it easier than a card in my back pocket, and you're right, some of those mag strips or RFID things don't work, or they program them wrong. But the big piece for me is, how can I make it easier? When I go to a hotel, I've got coffee in my hand, I'm usually talking on my phone, and I've got my luggage with me. And usually I'm wearing a sport coat, which gives me an extra 8 pockets. And that's where I get confused and can't find where I just dropped the hotel key. So the same user experience with a Miwa lock with our technology is the phone stays in my pocket or my bag or my purse or at my ear while I'm talking, and I touch the hotel lock, and that affords me access. Now, the alternative solutions that are out there that some hotels are trying make me pull the phone from my pocket, plug in my password, go to an app, wait for the app to connect, go to my stay, press my room number, wait for it to connect to the door, and then press open or twist the phone in midair, and you've added 5 or 6 steps to what was a pretty simple transaction. And I, like to call that a parlor trick. It's fun the first time. But it becomes quite an annoyance. If we don't make it easier, status quo wins out. And, it's just a parlor trick. It's a great back door, right? When I lose my key, I can get in it with my smartphone. But for that every time interaction that I go in and out of my hotel room or my house 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day, it needs to be easier.
Yeah, it needs to be easier, and that would be far more annoying. All the added hoops that you have to jump through to get through the front door. You certainly make a good point. So, the idea here is basically you just have your phone in your pocket, whatever. You just touch the door key, and then everything, the technology does the rest and just lets you in. And
Yep. It's using Bluetooth Low Energy, and that's really what made this solution go, because our front doors of our homes and hotel rooms generally are not powered. I don't have any power there. So this needs to run on batteries. And just like a smoke alarm, we said this needs to run over a year on regular batteries without changing the batteries, or again, it's just a toy. So a UniKey Kivo or the ALV2s in hotels last years on regular sets of batteries. Again, a big key differentiator on this. It has to be easy to access, and it has to behave like a regular product.
Right. Certainly very important, and something that you might not consider. I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead. I didn't mean to step on.
Oh, no. It just made sense for me, that it seems like the natural progression of the hospitality industry would be, my dream. I like people most of the time. I just don't like interacting with people a lot of the time. So if I could just skip the front desk altogether, that was nice. But you're right, where it has to be intuitive and easy enough that that the everyday person's just going to be able to get it. And no doubt in 5-10 years it probably will move that way. But speaking of here and now, I guess the UniKey, and I can see where this is definitely going to be nice for homes. And you mentioned the scheduling feature, and sometimes scheduling things isn't the easiest, and I'm assuming that's all done in the app. Is it done on some kind of calendar system or timers? How does the app actually let you control the timing of keys?
So for timing of keys, and we'll talk about the Kivo system in this case, or it might be the touch key. There's a product being released in the UK. So the UK's first smart lock, they have very different physical looking locks than we do. They've got great big pieces of metal on the doors over there. They actually have insurance requirements in the UK. If they don't have a certain type of lock and a certain grade of lock on the door, homeowners insurance isn't covered.
Wow.
Very different than the United States. They actually have grading systems over there, and the more metal, the better it seems for the Brits over there. But there's a lot coming out for that as well. The scheduling feature, when I send an e-key, Ben, so if I were going to send an e-key to you, when it comes up, it's going to ask me, do I want to send you an anytime e-key, do I want to send you a scheduled e-key, or do I want to send you a guest e-key that just blows up in 24 hours so I never have to think about it again? And the scheduling feature, I just choose the days of the week and the hours of the day in which you're It's a pretty simple interface. The difference when you go to a scheduled e-key, though, is your device, and it will tell you, your device has to be active. So if you were to put your device in airplane mode, it'll buzz you and say that you don't have an active connection, and you need to for a scheduled e-key, because you can't trust the time on the device, and you really shouldn't even trust the time on a real-time clock on the lock itself. So we hit the network on a scheduled e-key. So your transaction time of touching it and it opens in about 1 second might be 1.5 or 2.5 seconds to open, because it's going to do a network check-in to verify the time and date on that piece. That's the difference on a scheduled e-key.
So your device has to be active. So it's not like you just send a key and then you can just kind of turn off your phone and whatnot. I guess the added security in there is that it does that little ping back, and it makes sure that, hey, you set a key? Yes, I did. All right, and here you go, and then it unlocks. All that happens in a matter of a second, but that's actually a very important point that I guess we need to make, that your phone does have to be active and connected.
For a scheduled e-key, and
right.
that the big portion of this solution, without a scheduled e-key, the regular anytime e-keys that my family has, and my guests and so forth, those work offline. So if the power's out of the house, the internet's down, etc., those e-keys still work offline.
Now, again, the all this scheduling or setting up everything, you do this on your smartphone, or do you do this on your computer, or you have a choice?
You can do it on either. So it has a full web portal. So if I have lost my phone, one of the greatest, and which happened right out of that's what I used to carry it in my front right pocket. I think that's why I changed. My phone was stolen on December 23rd, 2013. Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, yeah.
Right out of my pocket. And the first thing I did was, my wife happened to be with me, but I could have gone into the Wegmans, into the internet cafe, they've got computers, and logged right in and turned my credentials off. My wife was with me. I went into her phone, and my phone was instantaneously offline. So I like to think it was professionally picked out of my pocket. And the second thing I did is I logged myself out of my phone. So my eKey credentials were all off that device, which is a different experience than 2 weeks prior. One of my kids lost the mechanical keys to our home, and I had to rekey 7 doors in the home when they did that because we didn't know where that mechanical key was.
Yeah, and that's right. Now it's nice that some of them that offer the mechanical keys a little way to reprogram the lock itself. There's a little slot in it and a little thing, so you can actually take the new key and you can actually rekey the lock with a new key.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a big props out to Kwikset, and I discovered this before UniKey had a partnership with Kwikset.
I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let's talk about it when we come back. We're at the bottom of the hour, Dirk, and then we'll continue on. Okay?
Gotcha.
You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are having a fascinating conversation with Dirk Wyckoff, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing for UniKey. 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Well, we will be right back. We have a news tips review from Marty Winston as well. Stay tuned for more Computer America.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Okay, who ordered the Schomburg milkshake? Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America. This time, the Meade Lightbridge Mini 130 telescope. We all start by hoping to catch a glimpse of the Enterprise or the TARDIS, but not the Death Star. Then by seeing the rings of Saturn or the moons of Mars. We had to say yes when Meade offered a new Lightbridge Mini 130 reflecting Dobsonian telescope to review. This is a bigger barrel scope. The 5.1-inch diameter barrel points its big reflector to a patch of sky. An angled reflector sends that image to an adjustable eyepiece. It comes with two. And we found the whole thing a lot easier to use than traditional two-lens scopes. Bonus, it includes a laser red dot sight. Once calibrated, the place where you see the red dot in the sight's viewfinder is the piece of sky the scope sees. Bottom line, the new Meade Lightbridge Mini 130 reflecting Dobsonian telescope delivers the heavens. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Marty Winston, for that news tip bulletin review. And yeah, this time next hour, be sure to stay tuned for the winner of our weekly giveaway that we do. You know, our friends over at Logitech sent us over some great prizes to send out, and we love doing it. So, but here in the first hour, we have Mr. Dirk Wyckoff here with us. He's the VP of Sales and Marketing for UniKey. And yeah, we were sorry we had to cut you off there, Dirk. But yeah, you were about to say what Kwikset had going for you.
Right. In other words, rather than have to replace all the locks, Kwikset has this really cool feature that will allow you to actually rekey it without having to be a locksmith, which you were starting getting into that. You were starting.
Yeah, so Kwikset, Wiser Lock, Baldwin locks come with a feature, most of them, called Smart Key technology. And I discovered this before UniKey had partnered with Kwikset years back. I own a couple rental properties, and I put these on my house as well. A simple little slot in the front of this lock allows me to take the existing key, turn it 90 degrees, pull it out, and push in a new key and rekey the lock in 5, maybe 10 seconds the first time you do it. So you can physically rekey the lock without taking it apart or calling a locksmith for an average, $9,900 trip out to the home to do these pieces. And I happen, as I said, to own a couple of rental properties, and that used to mean for me taking a lock apart and putting a new core in it every time I had a tenant turnover. Same thing that when my kids, I mentioned, lost the key to my home, I was able to rekey 6 of the 7 locks on my house in about 5 to 10 seconds each, and one of them didn't happen to have Smart Key. I had to buy one new lock because of the lost piece. But
and it had Smart Key
on all Kwikset locks. It's terrific for anybody that's ever worried about that. And then in giving up that key situation as well, if I do go away for the weekend and somebody doesn't want or can't accept an electronic key, I could actually rekey the lock to a separate key while I was gone, like a valet key, and give it to my house sitter. And when I come home, rekey it right back to my old key as well. So feature only found in Kwikset Wiser Baldwin locks. Just a terrific piece.
Right. So a little that was an advance in the mechanical lock technology I hadn't seen like that come for a long time, and so that was one, which was very, very nice. But as you say, as we are here in the 21st century, moving further, and as all of our we start taking advantage of the Internet of Things and being connected, and features like what UniKey has to offer, the technology that UniKey has to offer, is certainly going to make our lives easier without having to sacrifice security. That's
right. It's stuff like this blended with other technologies that we've seen, such as the companies that install essentially webcams in your doorbells, and and then your doorbell can send you a live video feed to your phone. Master of your own domain, like literally from your comfort of your couch.
Yes, they do have that. So now talk a little bit. So again, what we're here is basically where did the idea originate, and what were you trying to accomplish with UniKey? Why not make your own locks, and why take this approach?
I wish this was my idea first. It's certainly, I think, an idea that all of us had. Like the internet and watching television on my smartphone. The idea came from Phil Dumas, who's the founder of the company, and Phil happens to have also brought the first biometrical mass market lock to market. Now, when you think of what that means, it's a fingerprint lock that we put on our front doors, and you have to train the fingerprint lock, and it means running your finger over it several times, just like those of us that have ever done sort of the insecure piece on the iPhone or some of the new Android pieces that have the fingerprint over and over. And we all know that changes in the winter when my finger's dry, and it certainly doesn't work every time it's wet. And it essentially created what I like to call as the pry bar moment. And for me, that's the 3rd or 4th time my wife's standing in the rain under an umbrella, running her finger over it, and the lock doesn't open. She doesn't bother to get a screwdriver. It's straight to a pry bar to get it off the door. She's done with it. And that frustration is what led Phil to say, you know, the frustration with it is it's human behavior. We have to train the lock. It has limitations on humidity and dryness and all sorts of things. And it's not usually the technology. You can get better technology in those government spy movies, but it costs too much money to be a mass market product. And that limitation haunted Phil as he went to another industry and came back and said, how can I do this and make it work every time and get rid of the human error element? And that thought was, the smartphone becomes that biometrical extension. It's in our pocket. It's a part of us. We have trouble leaving. More people leave, without their wallet and keys anymore than they do their smartphone in this day and age. Yeah. So that was the idea behind it. And then Bluetooth Low Energy is what gave us the technological ability to do it. We tried to do it with Bluetooth. And again, it all comes back to balancing latency and battery life, and Bluetooth just never allowed us to get an acceptable amount of battery life out of a door lock. It's the same reason why these don't have Wi-Fi built into them. It's just too much of an energy hog. Again, we think we need to maintain battery life of over a year, just like a smoke detector, for the average person to want to put this on their door. And Bluetooth Low Energy is what gave us that that window into being able to deliver a solution.
So you're saying the low energy Bluetooth was the pinnacle technology that allowed UniKey's proposition to happen?
That was really the converter. That, the pervasiveness and the installation base of smartphones. And certainly we had to wait, and I think the fact that Apple adopted Bluetooth Low Energy into their devices so quickly, and then there's something else on the background, right? We're going to get technical for a second on Bluetooth Low Energy. There are two different ways, just like a radio receptor, if you think, right? One of them's broadcasting and one of them's listening. And our device in our pocket needs to listen because the door sits in a state of sleep. So when I touch these doors, it wakes it up and broadcasts and says, "Where's the phone?" So the phone needs to be listening for that, and that's what's able to preserve an acceptable amount of battery life. Now, not all Bluetooth Low Energy devices listen. Some of them only broadcast, right? And that's one of the reasons why some of the older Android devices, or Android on 4.0, did not fully support Bluetooth Low Energy. And it's a head scratcher for most people because they're going to say it has Bluetooth Low Energy. But some of the device manufacturers didn't allow that other side. It broadcast, but it didn't listen. So that's really the pinnacle technology that allowed this technology, which is your smartphones in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag. It pervasively runs in the background and gives me this passive intent. When I walk to the door, I touch it, it knows it's me, it opens, and if I'm on the inside of the home, it doesn't open. And Bluetooth Low Energy is really what allowed us to be able to do that.
Now, I'm sorry, with the quick set, do you have to have an app running on your phone at this point?
Yeah, the app will persist in the background, and if you go and force close it, it'll give you a couple nasty grams that it's not going to work until you open. It'll do the same thing if you shut down Bluetooth Low Energy. Now, the notion that most of us, at least we're learned in the system, is Bluetooth sucks energy from your phone and compromises your battery life at that part. And Bluetooth Low Energy is such a nominal consumption of battery, especially compared to what Bluetooth was. I think there's a consumer education piece to understand that again, that Bluetooth Low Energy running on your phone doesn't consume much energy, but we do have users of it that like to shut it down and start it over during the day. But the app and Bluetooth Low Energy need to be running in order for this to work.
Okay, so I think in my phone, the only two apps I have running are I'm hearing some bad feedback. I don't know if somebody turned the speaker on or something.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, all right, sorry about that. All right, so get my thoughts again. So what I have on my smartphone now, I always have the phone app and the message app running. But anytime if I check the weather and then I do the double tap and I clear it out. So I know technically you don't have to really do that, but it's just sort of force of habit. So if I have the UniKey app, then that's the third one. I'm going to have to let that running all the time too, although it's low energy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So and there are ways for it to wake up and look for certain things, but it largely sleeps in the background unless you're traveling close to your home. It picks up some attenuation.
Okay, but it is It's the low energy version of Bluetooth, and most of the smartphones you say support both the listening and the broadcasting of low energy today.
Yeah, and certainly on the Apple side, that's happened from the S series up back on the 4. The other one, there's a compatibility index, but you'll see the Galaxy 5S's and 6 and 7s that are coming out. The most popular new Android devices do support that technology, but there's always a compatibility check out there for folks as well.
The other thing that we hear the term Internet of Things, or IoT, you know, and that the IoT world. Now, is there a difference in the IoT world between connected versus smart devices that you keep referring to?
It's a great question. You know, one of the things that we said, we're not the first people to open a door using a phone. You've been able to do that for over a decade with a flip phone and a series of chirps and a lot of different ways to do the technology. What we do like to claim is we're the first people to do it in a smarter and easier, more convenient way than a key today. So again, coming back to that, it needs to be convenient for people to use every day, not just as an emergency backdoor in. So that was the first step, and I think when you look at the smart home or the Internet of Things, we're really, I think, coming to the end of what I like to call phase 1 in this, is we're looking at a lot of point solutions. So a consumer or me, I've got a couple pains. I have some things around my house that I really want to do when I'm out, whether it's having that video doorbell or turning a light on in my home when I'm traveling and I forgot to put that old timer in the wall, you know, from CVS that I bought for $3 to make it look like I was home. So I have a couple point solutions that are important to me, you know, and one of the first ones for me personally and for market adoption was a smart thermostat. And Nest was really a great example of paving the way of showing what a connected device or a smart device could do for people. And, you know, largely a point solution. But now we're into phase 2, and there's a Works with Nest program. And how do devices start interoperating around the home? And how do they start becoming not only more intelligent for their own proposition, but to interact with other things in the house? And, you know, I like to say, you know, a smart home can start at your front door, and, you know, that's largely where our products are, Kivo are, is at your house. And we'll do those smart integrations with other companies. So if you have a smart doorbell and you're away from your house, right from a Ring app, you know, one of the leaders in smart bell technology, you can open your door remotely right into the Kivo app from that Ring app. Or more importantly for me, when I open the door, the Nest thermostat knows that Dirk came home. Not my wife, not my kids, not a house guest, that I came home. And we brought individuality, so individual users to a Nest thermostat, which no other device ever did. So Nest is a device, and it has home preferences. I'm home or I'm away, and it sets it accordingly for what the behavior is in the house. Now we added a whole separate piece. It knows that Dirk is home. And in my case, living in Pennsylvania, I set the thermostat to a robust 62 when I'm home because I work in my office off my living room, and it's separately heated and cooled. But before, my dog would walk past the thermostat and set it to a home status, whatever else. I'd be in the office and feel the air ducts going, and I'm blowing a whole lot of energy. Now, when my wife or kids come home and touch the door, it sets it to their preferences, and I don't have to limbo around that thermostat out in the kitchen every time I'm getting or a cinch now to keep it to a status. So it knows Dirk is home, and then it knows my wife is home or my kids are home, and it goes to a more reasonable winter temperature than, you know, to which I'm willing to survive. So these are the integrations that we think are, you know, become the intelligent home, and Nest uses a term out there, Tony Fidel, saying the thoughtful home. So how do these devices start interoperating, and not only interoperating, but doing our work for us and thinking for us and making my everyday interactions easier for me without just going to a big, massive board and programming if this, then that, based upon what I think I want to happen. So it's going to learn my behaviors and give me those individual preferences that I didn't have before.
Yeah, you mentioned Nest. Again, it's a terrific product. We've actually tried to get them on the show before. But the thing is that I had many cameras and was not happy with the results. But I got a Nest camera, and boy, that thing works like it's supposed to, and it really does a terrific job. You know, the other ones are flaky. If you had a power failure, you have to reset it. If you were home, what could you do? But here, Here with the Nest, it's certainly it manages itself. It's easy to set up, and if anyone asks what kind of home camera monitoring camera you should get, I always tell them to get a Nest.
Yeah. And Dirk, you're talking about this phase 1, phase 2 thing, and then I'm assuming there's a phase 3 because we were actually out at CES, and that's actually I think where I'm at Quickset, and I saw actually the Kivo and everything on demo there. It was very 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 awesome, but like this idea that it starts with the Nest and it ends with your key, with your door key and your doorbell, but I mean being out of CES. It makes you realize, like, if there was an evil empire, they have plans for us all. They have plans for all of you that your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detector, your water heater, your dishwasher, your fridge, your air conditioner, your everything that is electronic in your house, eventually, in a couple of years, is going to start talking to each other. And yes, it's probably going to be for the convenience of all of us. But I mean, this phase 2 that you're talking about, it's going to be pretty widespread across your home.
It's a great point, and it's one of the reasons why, and again, being a door lock technology and UniKey being a security company at its core, we don't get a second chance. If something is hacked, if your door lock doesn't work, we're out of the water, versus a light that might creepily go on or off in your house because of a misfired security piece or an if this then that. So UniKey does not offer an open API. There are very, very secure and rational reasons of how we speak in cloud to cloud and what commands we would ever allow. Right now, UniKey provides acknowledgments to other people to act and so forth. So your concerns are very, very well founded, in my opinion, on all of these things. Security is a main element that I think is going to, I don't want to use the word plague, but I think rightfully so, folks are going to question. And it's another reason why UniKey doesn't make a device itself. They're looking at consumers and consumer preferences in long-standing secure brands. And if you think about a market leader in Quickset being the #1 residential lock manufacturer, they certainly have credentials and testing and everything that has to go through it. So we're not a Kickstarter device company. Out there. Our partners don't allow us to be so because we choose to partner with the leaders in space.
Mm.
You mentioned if this then that. Is there any integration with IFTTT?
On the UniKey products itself today, there isn't. However, there's always more things coming. And some of them, again, may be partial implementations where we'll be able to take a signal and allow other things to act on us, rather than to say, I'll give you a for instance. We've had alarm companies or smoke detector carbon monoxide companies and furnace control companies come to us and say, if there's smoke in the house, we want to automatically open the doors to get people out, which on the surface sounds like a great idea. It's one less thing I need to do when I'm running out of the house, or maybe the fire company doesn't bash my door down. Maybe they try the knob first. But in reality, when you look at a security audit perspective, if somebody were to blow smoke into my home through an open window or a fan, my doors open up. So there's absolutely a vulnerability in there that on the surface, when people look at if this then that, sometimes there are severe security elements to consider that maybe the average person doesn't. And that's one of the reasons why we partner with the white hat and pin testing security audit to make sure that we're not missing those elements as well.
And when people point them out to you, how do you make the ethical decision? Well, when there's smoke in there, we're going to unlock the front doors, or no, we're not going to unlock the front doors, and they just better get down close to the ground and get to that front door. I mean, how do you make that kind of judgment call?
Well, right now we look to those leaders in security audit space, and if they point out the vulnerabilities, we're certainly not going to allow those, even for the sake of convenience, because the safety factor, one safety factor outweighs the other safety factor. And that's really what it comes down to. But I know there are a lot of neat scenarios that people talk, and if there's smoke, my lights in my house turn a certain color and it flashes outside so the fire department finds it faster. and they're emergency situations. And if they compromise everyday security, we're going to err on the side of not compromising your everyday security.
Right. It sounds a lot like with the smart cars. Well, if you have do one maneuver, you'll only kill one person, and if you do the other maneuver, you're going to kill 10 people. So which one do you choose?
No one wins even with a conversation, let alone the actual outcome.
But these are evidently issues that you have that you have to deal with, or at least the companies that are making these products have to deal with. So if you had to define UniKey's main function, then you are supplying what? The software, the intelligence? What is it exactly that you're providing to these lock manufacturers?
You're right on the path. We provide an integrated solution, almost a platform as a service. So a fully integrated piece where any lock access control company can come and port this into their existing solutions. Typically, it will require a hardware reference design that we have, but everything else runs in the background and cloud-based and design-based on these people. So if I've got an access control panel or a card reader in my office situation, we can either add to existing hardware that's there, or we can embed and incorporate into new design this technology that doesn't necessarily displace the incumbent technology. And again, that might be a card reader or a physical key. So UniKey allows these large access control companies to disrupt themselves, get to market fast. And that's one of the key pieces with this. We have proven technology that has been employed since 2013. We have technology that other folks don't, which includes inside-outside technology, understanding that intelligence, smart balancing in terms of power, and allow those folks to get to market. It's, again, one of those head-scratchers where you look at this new world of a lot of these neat gadgets, and if there are corner cases, and in some cases they're not corner cases, they're pretty broad-scale security concerns, it's a hobbyist product. And that's not who UniKey is. A security company at the end of the day, and a corner case isn't a corner case in security. It has to be eliminated. And that's why we don't employ things like geo-tokens in positioning. Again, the tides change and the clouds move, and your door could open. And if you don't know on which side of the door is, your door could open. And if you blow smoke in the house, your door could open. We can't afford any of those.
Okay, so but you can retrofit then to an existing lock system that may be in a business. You have a hand palm print or just a swipe a card. You can they can come to UniKey and say, oh, we want to use your technology, and you can retrofit your technology to theirs. Do they do that directly with UniKey, or do they go to a locksmith? I mean, where do they go to even get this?
So if I'm a business and I'm looking for that, I look for those pieces through my access control systems. And some of these names I can't mention, but the largest access control folks that are out there and that have readers and panels, those are the folks that we would work with and behind the scenes are working with. So if I'm one of those larger access control manufacturers, that's who we work with. But we're not going to go on a one-by-one and outfit an office. That's who those partners would. Just like if you think in the residential solution being Kwikset, we're not going to come out and put individual components in your existing door. You're going to buy a solution from Kwikset. And if my home office or hotel, that would be the same way, or the office or hotel commercial systems. I would buy those systems from the manufacturers and then through the channels of resale by which they employ.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough. People want more information, they can go to your website at UniKey, UNIKEY.com. Okay.
That's it.
Because they have you have residential. You even have business solutions, multifamily, hospitality. I mean, you have it all there on your website, so you can see everything there. Or if you don't remember, just go to computeramerica.com. Right there on our homepage, we have a link to the UniKey website right on our homepage at computeramerica.com. These things, we have the entire week's worth of programming there available, and then of course after that it goes to our archive section, so you can still find the access there as well. Say, oh, what was that show with the lock? And it's we just go to computeramerica.com. It'll always be available, so you can check it out. Dirk, we got about less than a minute. Anything else you want to let our listeners know before we say good afternoon to you?
To the listeners, I appreciate the time, and we'll follow up on any questions that are out there. Craig and Ben, always great to see and speak to you.
Likewise, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here on Computer America, Dirk. It was a real pleasure.
We're always listening.
All right, you take care. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. All right. There he goes. Again, Dirk Wyckoff, again, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for UniKey. And again, you can check it out at computeramerica.com. I can't believe it's Friday already. My gosh. Wow.
Yeah, who saw it coming? I mean, Thursday rolled around and, don't know what's happening the next day, but here we are sitting on a Friday.
Yeah.
Of all days.
Yeah. Well, we have some computer and technology news stories coming up in the next hour, and certainly you can listen to those. Also, you want to make sure that you are listening, because coming up in the next hour, we're going to give away our social media winner of the week. We're going to be announcing a winning name, and we have some interesting stories coming up. Some of them are like, will Windows 10 Mobile turn Microsoft smartphone fortunes around? Exactly. And will Oculus Rift support the Mac? I think we already know what the answer of that's going to be.
What do you think the answer is?
No.
Good guess.
Yeah, exactly. But not only we'll tell you why. For those of you going, oh, gee, well, we'll try to have those.
Spoiler. Not good.
Some answers for you. Anyway, those stories and more coming up. And again, of course, our social media winner of the week coming up as well. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, the TuneIn Radio Network. We are going to take a short break, and then we're going to be back for the second hour of the Computer America Show. 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Stay with us. You're listening to the Computer America Show.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we just had quick UniKey on in the first hour. Very interesting conversation, interesting products. Now, did you actually see UniKey out at CES when you were out there, Ben? I
saw Quickset.
Quickset, okay.
Quickset definitely had a booth out there in the center hall at CES, and yeah, I was able to see the two that they were pushing was the Kivo and the other one, which is on their website, which I unfortunately closed. But yeah, I was able to see that they had them there, and they had people walking around with their smartphones, and they could send you a key right over, and yeah, it was easy as cake.
Okay. Well, here we are in the second hour of the show. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later on the program, we're going to have our social media winner of the week. He's going to win that Logitech MX2 Anywhere wireless mouse, about at $80. Again, head over to ComputerAmerica.com and get your entry in for next week, because we'd love to call your name out as a winner. So, again, UniKey here. Thanks to having them here on the show with us. Very interesting, and again, it makes a lot of sense. No more fumbling for keys. They want to make it as simple and as possible. Because as he mentioned, his wife, has this crowbar technology. She's standing out in the rain. She can't get into the house. The lock goes. You want to make it as simple as possible. Just touch the key and don't have to worry about it, yet not sacrificing safety and security. That is certainly the path that they're taking, and it looks like they're on the right path. I mean, they certainly seem to have their act together.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Charles Tendall would have given them a harder time, though.
Yeah, he well, they did mention that they do penetration testing, and they have taken it to the proper circles, gray hat hackers and white hat hackers, and say, hey, see if you can get into this. And so far, luckily, the papers, like they said, that they published, nothing so far. So it's not like they're like, oh, according to our internal tests, they're uncrackable. Yay! No, they're actually taking it to the proper circles to put them through their paces, which is good. But I think we all know this by now. Be it banks, be it cars, be it your phone, be it anything, nothing is impenetrable. Nothing is perfect. So it's not a challenge, but they're definitely doing their due diligence in seeing.
Certainly not the front door. It's not the only way into a house. I think that was the point that he tried to make. But there are technologies that are becoming impenetrable.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, it's like, yeah, you probably could get through it, and yeah, you probably could, with all the high-tech gadgetry that you actually do see in Hollywood. It's like, yeah, but they'll be sitting there for a couple hours drinking a coffee, trying to break your door lock, and they could just walk over to the window and smash it and get in 10 seconds. Yeah. So it's like, they probably could at some point, but why would you bother? Most people won't bother.
Of course, you smash the window, chances are a home like that will have motion detectors and glass breaks.
You say a house like that, these things aren't that expensive. It's not like someone's got to shell out $800 for a door lock here. They're pretty inexpensive.
Although most alarm securities now are becoming affordable to the average home. So, but as you say, look, if someone wants to get in, they're probably going to get in, but and probably not through the front door. Although we mentioned about
here at the chimney gets violated every year.
Yes,
so
4th of December. Yes, it does. What was it? The story we did yesterday about the Chinese coming up with the quantum.
The not the quantum entanglement, the quantum keys and that kind of thing.
Entanglement and basically makes the codes uncrackable by anything. I don't think we'll ever need quantum technology on our door locks, though. I think the technology that we have today is pretty safe.
We have today AES encryption 256 or something. 512 over 256 is most common, and that's still military grade. So it's we're I think we're getting to the point where it's probably crackable, and at the end of the day, computers are going to get more and more powerful. Where hey, if someone has to rent a supercomputer to hack into your front door because they need to run every variant of AES 512 encryption, then maybe they deserve to get in. Maybe
you're just bringing the axe,
right? Maybe they really need to get in for some reason.
The universal key, axe, that'll probably do it. And get
a boot. Yeah, it's
exactly. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to have our social media winner of the week coming up, of course, here on a Friday afternoon. The weekend is upon us. I think it's time for us to do some computer and tech news, unless there's anything else you want to mention before we get started.
No, I think we have lots of news stories and we're ready to go. No, I think we're good.
Just a quick mention that you can listen to archives of the Computer America show now on our archives page. We're on Apple's iTunes carries archives, Stitcher, SoundCloud carry archives. Even if you have an Amazon Echo, you can now listen to the show on the Amazon Echo. And they have 2 new versions coming up. Sandy Berger is going to be with us next week. I'm curious to hear what she has to say about those. But yes, everything you need to know about our show, listening, watching the video, it's all at computeramerica.com, the internet home of our radio broadcast. With that, let's do some computer news. Today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Slimwareutilities.com. Check them out. You'll be very glad you did, and you'll thank us for it. Slimwareutilities.com.
All right, and let's go with our first story here, with this is something that we actually mentioned yesterday, but we should probably do a full-blown article on this because it is probably going to be a quote-unquote console seller. It's going to be a console pusher. No Man's Sky. This is from Max and PC, Mr. Paul Lilly, and No Man's Sky is now available for pre-order and unlocks on PC June 21st.
Wow.
So, yeah, we talked about this yesterday with Mr. Matt from Digital Times.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and
Digital Trends.
Digital Trends. There we go. That was DT. With Digital Trends. And yeah, this is a very, very cool game that I actually not heard about until yesterday. But get a Horizon Omega ship for pre-ordering, so you get your little goodies as usual. But Sony goofed up yesterday by going live with a listing for No Man's Sky on its US PlayStation blog that made it seem like the game would be released today. That turned out to be wishful thinking. However, the pre-order for No Man's Sky did start today.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me, Ben, the alt-art gamer here at Computer America, there was a game out there of this caliber that you had not heard of before? How is that possible?
There are a lot of games coming out nowadays, and it's great. You don't know about my personal life, but I'm rather distracted lately. It's pretty bad. I'm looking forward to the days where I'm, researching, as I call it, and being lazy around the office. But here we have it's not just available for PlayStation 4, but for PC as well. You can find the title for pre-order on Steam, GOG.com, and IM8bit. The latter of which offers the Explorer Edition, which is $150. I saw that one though, wow. And the $150 Explorer Edition, which is essentially just a collector's edition, comes with a model spaceship. It's like 10 inches tall or something like that of one of the spaceships in the game. So if you're into collectibles, $150 is where you're going to shop out for that one. Wow. And of course, there are a couple of extra goodies that you can throw in, but those who pre-order get a bonus in the form of the Horizon Omega ship, equipped with an upgraded hyperdrive and increased firepower. So the usual goodies. I mean, it's not going to be the best of the best in the game, obviously, because that would be awful if you had to, buy to be the best in the game. But it's going to put you a little bit ahead of everyone else. So good for there. But there's a lot to explore in No Man's Sky. It's set in an infinite procedurally generated galaxy with over 18 quintillion planets. 18 quintillion. That's a lot. What you do is up to you, and whether you mine for crystals, shoot down ships, or explore, which is what the game really encourages. They have a quote here from the developer from Hello Games saying, "Explore uncharted solar systems and catalog unique new forms of life. Every planet's landscape is different from the next and populated by species never before encountered. The system requires a pretty reasonable run to no man's land. You need a minimum Intel Core i3, 8 gigabits RAM, and a GeForce GTX 480 graphics card, and 10 gigs of free space. So nothing too bad. And honestly, that's a good lower to mid-range computer.
Yeah,
that won't set you back more than a couple $100. But I think why this is so anticipated, at least from what I'm seeing, is this idea of a ever generating universe that you have going on, where just like Minecraft, where according to his algorithm, it will generate until you reach the very, very tip. But most people, you could spend literally hours running from one end of Minecraft to the other. This seems just like another version of that, where it will use its coding to randomly generate the planet, the species that populates the planet, the landscape. All these things are computer generated, but in that computer generation, it's leads to an ever exploring kind of atmosphere where you never quite know what's going to be on the next planet or in the next solar system, which is kind of cool. And as we said yesterday, No Man's Sky is going to be for virtual reality, so it's going to add another feature to that as well. So,
and over 18 quintillion planets. Come on, how could you ever check all those out in a single lifetime. You couldn't.
Yeah,
do
there's a lot of playtime, but again, just like Minecraft, there are people who have literally played thousands of hours on Minecraft just because it's ever generating, and you can keep going and going, exploring, and doing other things.
Yeah.
Like the game said, it's completely up to you how you play the game, but it really does emphasize, exploration.
All right, and it's coming out the 21st of June.
Yep, pre-order now, 21st June, PlayStation 4 and PC.
Okay, well, this next story is from Engadget, and you hear mixed things about Cortana. Here, we like it, we don't like it, but evidently, the next Windows 10 update is going to be all about Cortana. Okay, so basically, Cortana has learned 3 languages in the latest Windows 10 update, which is available today for insider members in the program, Fast Ring. Cortana now supports Spanish, the Mexico version, Portuguese, Brazilian, and French, Canadian languages, each with its own specialized flair. Cortana is fond of pastries, which is a common food found in many regions across Brazil. Microsoft's blog post reads, and in Mexico, we added local flavors to reflect the accent and language of the country. Well, in today's preview build, users can also set simple reminders with Cortana, including events that don't have due dates. That's kind of interesting. It's possible to return to these reminders later to set specific parameters. And in future updates, Cortana will be able to retrieve these upon request, just like a real personal assistant would. So you can say, hey, remember that appointment I made 3 weeks ago for June? Well, Cortana, I want you to update that now. It's actually going to happen in July. You won't have to explain it all again. She'll remember that. Microsoft is also updating the lock and log on screens. They'll now have the same background, the one chosen for the lock screen. Microsoft is also working to streamline the transition between the lock and log on screens. And the latest update squashes a few bugs, including a glitch where Cortana showed reminders for events that were already completed. I hate when that happens. And some PCs blue screened after downloading certain drivers from Windows Update, but this build should take care of that problem as well. Additionally, all Windows insiders will now receive Windows 10 firmware updates automatically as they become available. So there it is. But it's all about Cortana, evidently, according to this article from Engadget. So Yep. Okay.
I gotta say, I have a blue screen that I'm trying to figure out right now. I just remember to look it up, and yeah, I have a blue screen. And I'm not sure how to fix it because I think this is one thing that makes our show pretty valuable because if someone out there has a tech question or tech support question or something like that, I mean we definitely do stuff like that on the show. Although it seems like you people have been lately been getting better because we don't get too many of them anymore.
No.
But if you have a problem, you can definitely send us a message, and we have a litany of correspondents who are experts in the field and continue to work in the field of tech support and things like that. And really, we're just talking about Mike Cermak, but he's very, very amenable. And whenever you look up a problem that your computer has, like I'm having this problem now where I get this blue screen and it's like K mode exception not handled, and it's a blue screen and it's awful and I hate it. But when I look it up, I mean, their responses from like 6 months ago, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, not that too far gone, but they're all about Windows 8, and they're all useless to me because they're it's not Windows 10.
Right.
So it's frustrating that you can have these problems and you can put in all the available information that you could possibly have, but you still probably won't find the right solution to your problem. So I understand how people get frustrated with their computers.
Now, are you saying you have a blue screen right now? Because it looks fine.
Not right now.
Okay.
I'm saying it happens.
It happens. Okay.
I'm saying that it happens. Like I'll be playing a video game actually, and my computer will overheat, I assume. I've downloaded all the different monitoring software where it monitors my core usage, it monitors my RAM, it monitors my energy consumption, it
Wow.
monitors my fan speed, it monitors everything. And none of that goes out of whack, but after I play a game for, a little while, my whole computer will freeze. Just completely, if I have my speakers on, it'll make this horrible screeching noise, it'll freeze, and then I have to force restart. And then if I try to enter my password to get back into my computer too quickly, like if I don't give it about 30 seconds, it'll blue screen like right away as soon as I try to log back into my user account. So, it's a couple problems that personally makes me just want to say, well, time for a new computer. This one's acting wonky. But yeah, I'm having that problem.
All right, good.
Good, bad,
Bad. Okay.
horrible. My computer's crashing and I'm getting a blue screen. That's the worst thing that could happen to a computer.
Yes, it is. It is good. It's bad.
And you just said good.
Well, no, I meant bad. But you're not having it at this moment, so it's all working. Fine.
Not right this moment, but I can make it happen.
No, don't make it happen.
And it's awful. Oh well, it is what it is. Speaking of crap, how about we move on to this story? This is a story from Engadget, and it's from Boeing. Boeing, they make cool stuff. They make airplanes, as most of us know. And what's the best part about an airplane? Yes, the bathroom. The bathroom is the best part, we assume. And if you're watching a live video feed, you can see actually a little demonstration of this. But Boeing recently gathered its engineers and designers to create an airplane bathroom that won't turn into a smelly, germ-filled nightmare.
Ew.
Tall order. If you've been on long-haul flights, you'll know what we're talking about, and what they came up with is a restroom worthy of being pitted against fancy Japanese toilets, one that cleans itself after every visitor by killing 99.99% of germs with far UV light.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that seems to be playing a little bit of noise there, so watch out for that.
Hearing something.
But yeah, oh, there it goes. But yeah, by killing germs, the method also keeps the stall from smelling like an old bathroom. Right. So the far UV light is only harmful to microbes and is different from the type used at tanning salons. Still, the bathroom only activates its lights if sensors indicate that there's nobody inside. As soon as you close the door, the light pulses and zaps the germs you might have left behind, and the toilet cover even automatically pops up to ensure thorough cleaning.
That's
because that's where germs hide. So the toilet cover even automatically, and it only takes about 3 seconds to finish the whole process. So very cool. And since it's probably not enough for the fastidious clean, they also made almost every component inside hands-free. So there are sensors that lift the toilet seat. There's sensors on the faucet, on the soap dispenser, on the hand dryer, sensors on everything. So really, you don't have to touch anything in the bathroom.
That's nice.
That's nice. So plus, they're planning to add a vacuum vent system that can suck unfortunate accidents on the bathroom floor. Gross. A toilet that cleans itself could help save airlines maintenance costs down the line. And besides, it could convince germaphobes bitten by the travel bug to finally take that trip on the other side of the planet. Though I got to be honest. Oh, Craig?
What?
Do you hear that? Oh, wait, no. That might...
There's audio associated to that website.
Yeah, you might want to pause that video, Craig.
No, I'm not playing it. I closed it. So that's coming from yours.
I am. Oh, you're right. You're right. Anyways, so yeah, and I gotta be honest. If you're the type of person who's a germaphobe, and I know a few people out there, if you're the type of person that has delayed your around the world trip because of a toilet, I don't know if this is going to get your butt in the seat, but yeah, it seems cool, and I hope to see it in more places. That it's just a little flick of the UV light, 3 seconds, and bing, bang, boom, you're good to go.
All right, very good, very cool. Here's an article here from Ars Technica, and I sort of like things like this, but at the same time I go, basically, Sony released a video out that was a teaser of something called, and just the capital letter N. That's it. And is evidently supposed to be an audio-focused wearable that doesn't go in your ears. Isn't that cool?
Does that make sense?
No, you wouldn't think it does, but basically, it's a hand-free device that's coming. This is coming out of Sony's Future Lab program, and they announced this product yesterday. And there's also a very curious video that gives a glimpse of the initiative's first project, referred to as N. And this is a prototype. It's a hands-free wearable that provides a new way of experience audio, such as music and sound, allowing the user to receive audio information without having to insert any object into his or her ear. Think about that. Now, the video is kind of mysterious. It has this woman who's floating in water with earbuds falling out of her ears and disappearing, and then she's also transported to the top of a cliff overlooking a city, and we hear a voice talking about the weather and giving, positive sentiments about the day ahead, and this is all coming to her without anything in her ears. So how does it work? Well, if you look at the video closely, you'll see that the woman is wearing a Sony branded device around her neck. It's like a little shiny white gadget that curves over her shoulders, but there's not much else you can kind of deduce about it. And so N is apparently a product that untethers you from the wired hassle of traditional earbuds. It doesn't fit into your ears. Instead, it transmits audio for you to hear from this little device that you're wearing around your neck. She also in the video seems to respond to the voice saying ready. So it's possible that N has some voice recognition features as well built into this. Other than the video teaser, there's no information known about N or any of the prototypes coming out of the Sony Future Lab program. However, this really, really does look, incredibly cool. And we just thought we would tell you about it here on Computer America. There you go. There it is, N. That's all we know about it. And that's it.
Yeah, I wish there was more, but I think a lot of companies have before tried to solve the problem of audio.
Yes. Jawbone has a bone induction technology that's available now, but you still have to wear those devices in your ear. So, as far as I know.
I think that's also for Jawbone's experience to block noise out, because really you can have noise coming from around your shoulders and in your bones and whatnot, but at the end of the day you still need something to block the ambient noise out if you really want that true experience. So
it looks interesting.
All right, so that's that. And how about we move on to this one? And I think this one, we could all say we saw it coming, but at the same time, it's it's definitely weird to hear the actual numbers. So this is an article, multi-channel, and they're talking about Google Fiber and how Google Fiber TV, the subscriptions are really, really low, according to analysts, saying that by the end of 2015, there were about 53,000 video customers.
That's
which, part of me says, well, of course. But, Google Fiber's ambitions have drawn both the bearish and bullish views from analysts, but the news data from the U.S. Copyright Office shows that the initiative is not yet setting the world on fire, at least in respect to the number of video customers that have signed on so far. Google Fiber, as we said before, had 53,000 video subscriptions, according to the analyst Craig Moffat and the U.S. Copyright Office. And the number is a bit of a mixed bag, with Google's Fiber rate of video growth is strong, but should be stronger. Again, financial analysts, they always want stronger. They always want better. They have a quote here from Moffat saying that the number of subscribers to Google Fiber service remains astonishingly low. After all, there have been a steady stream of new cities announced, and they've now been at it for a long time in at least a handful of markets. But yeah, according to Moffat's analysis, the Google Fiber ended Q4 2015 with 53,390 video subscriptions, up from about 12,000 a year earlier. So, hey, that's a pretty big jump for 1 year. Yeah, and it ended with the year about about 12,000 video subs in Kansas City, Kansas, on a base of 54,000 homes in the city. So about 22% of the Google Fiber homes had a television subscription.
Yeah,
not much. And and the numbers just go down from there, including about 8% in Provo, Utah, which is about 3,000 homes in about 33,000 possible homes. Google Fiber also has about 941 video subs in Austin, Texas.
Well, but basically, this doesn't say that Google isn't doing well.
No, but that's what I meant by saying this is surprising yet not surprising, because Google Fiber had their main push is the internet. The internet service is so amazingly faster than anything else that we first saw when it first came out.
Right.
And 1 gig for even the reasonable price, some places are getting it for $80 a month, $70, $80 a month. It's not that much.
No.
And we've talked about this generation of cord cutters. If you can get reliable, consistent, fast streaming internet, why would you sign up for video, even though they offer it, when you could just get everything through, all the other cord cutting sites?
Yeah.
And with faster internet, it's never even a question of quality.
Yeah, no, exactly. If you have that kind of bandwidth available, you can pull high quality video.
It's not even I can't really use Netflix because someone else is using Netflix on their computer. With a gig connection, everyone could be watching Netflix, and everyone streams in 4K HD. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. So what was the point of this article is what? That it was just basically
that analysts are shocked that the video subscription numbers are so low, but if coming from a tech point of view, makes perfect sense.
All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about a new battery that uses carbon dioxide, which could replace all the batteries and car batteries out there. And also, AT&T is bringing targeted advertising to its TV service. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't poke a bear can't polka. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the lead art sensor evaluation kit one of the coolest pieces of tech we've seen in ages, using the time of flight of light to measure distances, plural. Its 16 detection segments span an arc, twin LEDs on the hardware body, which is about as big as a stack of 3 smartphones, and a lens handle the optics. The electronics get powered by a wall wart, and a USB connection lets a PC run its software. We pointed it at the ceiling and could track the blades of our ceiling fan. In demos we saw, it could identify vehicles versus pedestrians versus structures, and it seems well suited to drone sense and avoid use. Bottom line, the LiDAR sensor evaluation kit dramatically demonstrates the power and potential of its ability to detect both relative position and motion for multiple targets at once using just light. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. That was the last time you'll hear this set of Martys this week, and of course forever and ever, unless you go back to the archives. They are still added into the regular show as normal, but next week I assume Marty has a few more.
Yeah, we'll have 2 brand new ones coming up on Monday.
Right. So yeah, we're doing computer technology news, but before we even get back to that, we have an obligation to give away cool stuff, and part of that cool stuff is an MX Anywhere Tube mouse from our friends over at Logitech. So, Greg, without any more stalling for time, has the winner been chosen?
Yes, the winner has been chosen.
Okay, so then yeah, take it away.
All right, and this week's social media winner is Wayne Poole. Wayne Poole, congratulations. You're this week's social media winner. Wayne listens to us in Manawa, Wisconsin. Manawa,
Good place.
Yeah.
Good place.
Yeah, he wins the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse, valued at $79.99, $80. It has that dark field technology, so it works on glass surfaces. It has this easy switch technology with a little button at the bottom of the mouse that lets you switch between pair up to 3 computers and switch between them with the touch of a button. It's ambidextrous. It's small. Works anywhere. It's really terrific. And Wayne, you just won it. So congratulations to you. Again, head over to computeramerica.com under the Interact menu on the selection on our menu bar, any page, and just our social media contest. Head on over there and enter. It's real simple to do, and you can get up to like 5 different entries every single week if you just follow the guidelines. And who knows, maybe it's your name we'll be calling out next week. But congratulations to Wayne Poole in Manawa, Wisconsin. Okay. So Ben and I are continuing to do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in this story from Engadget, and basically it says AT&T, for those of you who have Uverse, okay, well, it's bringing internet-style targeted advertising to your TV. Get ready. Fasten those seatbelts, because you're going to see highly targeted ads on your flat screen. This is according to Timothy Sapala from Engadget.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. So basically, AT&T is partnering with video advertising company Videology to sell ads based specifically on what the two think you are looking for. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. The tech is based on, among other things, the channels you watch and demographic info. So now, shortly after the DirecTV and AT&T merger last year, the latter's VP of AdWorks gave Beat TV an example of how the system would work. He said that if an automaker was trying to target women who are luxury car owners who leases about to expire, his company would match that criteria with 3 million of the 12 million DirecTV households that meet the established demographic. From there, the automaker's ads would be delivered exclusively to those 3 million households. He said that regardless of lease expiration status, those ladies tend to watch the same programming. He says, he goes on to say, we take that 3 million homes we've targeted, pull the set-top box viewership data from 24 million set-top boxes we have access to, and we find the networks, the days, and the day parts that targeted audiences watch most often and schedule ads across the entire 24 million set-top box on those programs and channels. So is he talking about it's actually part of the, this is not a banner ad or something. This is the actual ad that you will see on those networks, and they'll be targeted to you, and you won't even know that that's happening? That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Well, it's kind of spooky, but it's kind of, so I mean, when you think of targeted ads, we think of, you know, the banner ads or the display ads on a website, you know, and even some cable boxes have, you know, you can do static, you know, ads, but you realize that they're just banner ads, that they're not part of the actual programming. But if this is what it is this is what I think it is, and what they're saying is that basically it's going to be based upon the network they're going to know what network you're looking at, and they're going to be able to send to you directly an ad that looks just like part of the network programming. Okay, that's very different. That's sort of like, you know, that's tantamount to Major League Baseball. If you was the first one to come out with it, I think it was called Elvis. You would see ads, you know, you would see the big audience in the arena, and you would see these ads on the billboards or on the surface of the in front of the audience that was watching it, and then it turned out that those really weren't there. That they were actually they could put any kind of display ad on it, and it would look like it was actually on the wall, but it really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of cool, but that still wasn't targeted. But it was a really cool way to sell the same space over and over to different companies.
They started doing that in video games as well, like take NHL, NBA, NFL, blah blah blah. Any sports video game, the sponsors on, you know, the hockey rink, on the sidelines of football games, soccer games, what have you, the banner ads, what you think would be, you know, just random company A, and you know, we sell widgets and blah blah blah. You know, just nonsensical banners that are just for the ambiance of the video game. They actually started to sell those to companies. So now companies can actually pay for ads inside the video game that people are playing, and they change almost every single time you play.
Can you click on it?
No. You just see them in the background. It's like on like an Xbox game.
That is very cool. Yeah, the technology actually came when you were watching football. They used to be able to the line of scrimmage and everything. It looked like it was on the field, and I said, "Boy, how are they getting that down so fast?" Because the camera would pan left or right, and the little line on the screen would move with it, like it was actually indelibly printed on the field, but it really wasn't there. So the next step was these ads. So now it looks like what they're doing here is that they're going to be able to target, if I'm reading this article correctly, is they're going to actually have advertising that will play on the networks that they're watching based upon the demographics of the individual viewers.
We did a story about Clear Channel doing that with their billboards, and how they're going to start selling to their advertisers the ability to monitor what kind of demographics pass each billboard, and then, you know, kind of recommend, hey, this audience that you're looking for passes by billboard A, B, and C. We recommend that you take out ad space on billboards A, B, and C. It seems like what Google has been doing. Google makes this amazing profile of every user. They make a profile of, you know, they read cookies, and they read your Gmail, and they read just everywhere that you go on the internet. They make up these amazing profiles that they can tell you, you know, by scanning your email. And again, nothing truly malicious, because this is just, you know, the price that you have to give up whenever you use a free Google service. But they know essentially when your birthday is. They know what games you like. They know who your friends are. They know how old you are. They know what you enjoy in your spare time. They know what food you like. You know, Google knows so much about each individual person. So when you pay for a Google ad, you know that you're getting the right audience to see your ads, because they know exactly who is probably going to respond best to your product. And that is so valuable to advertisers, because, you know, they want to make sure that when they put money out there for people, you know, when they put money out there, you know, to get some exposure, they don't, you know, like the newest Halo game doesn't want, you know, ad space in the nearest retirement home. It's
Yeah.
just not who they're targeting for.
No.
So, I mean, part of this is, yes, they're creating profiles of you so that they can better target you with ads. The downside is, privacy, if you think you still have that. And the upside is you start seeing products that are more relevant to you and that you will probably be interested in. So, there's good, there's bad, but to hear that they've got the technology down to the point where they can start doing it, because they've been doing it with internet advertising for years. And if they finally got the technology down to be able to do this on the fly on television, that is something different, but it's nothing we haven't seen before.
Right. Well, anyway, the initiative will beta test with a lone advertising partner over the next few months, but this won't be limited to traditional TV watching habits. AT&T says that the future will see the company moving this type of advertising toward mobile as well. So basically, once you start seeing the same ads all over between your living room or when you're checking out DirecTV satellite dish-free programming, at least now you'll know why you're seeing the same ads, because they know who you are. And that's it. That is kind of creepy. But there it is. Okay.
Yeah. Man, where else? Where to go from there? Where the Internet of Things is good and bad. Who knew? All right. Well, since we're kind of on the topic and it's loosely associated with it, I was just talking about Google and these profiles that they make of you, and how really they make up a profile of who you are, what you do, what you like, who you talk to, everything. They make up a profile of everything. But Google also has this program, for anyone who hasn't heard of it, called Google's Right to be Forgotten program, where you put in a form, and if you don't want to show up in any more Google search results, then they'll scrub their entire system of anything that points to personal information of you.
Really?
And yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. So, but Google changes how that feature works, and where you search from will impact the results that you see. So, of course, Google confirmed today that it's adjusting how it handles right to be forgotten requests from EU citizens, because this was a big court case in 2014 in EU about Google and the right to be forgotten law, and how the European courts deemed the scrubbing information that Google was doing inadequate, irrelevant, and no longer relevant or excessive in the public interest from its European servers. And that means if someone in France makes a delisting request, Google will scrub that info from google.fr, google.uk, and the rest, but not from google.com. So, however, starting next week, Google will delist people from all of its domains, including google.com. But the catch is Google will employ geolocation, which is, again, based on your IP address, to determine whether or not to display information that would have otherwise been scrubbed. That is, searching for a French person delisted information from America will return different results and additional results than if you search for the French person's information from within France itself. Of course, this policy is ludicrously stupid because of VPNs. We know all about them. But you can't fault Google for giving the European courts exactly what they asked for. They're obeying the letter of the law, if not the spirit. And what they say, because of VPNs mask your IP address to make it look like you're coming from any server that you so choose, be it from Singapore, be it from China, be it from Japan, be it from the US, be it from Brazil. It's pretty easy to, short of buying a plane ticket and going there with your laptop, it's pretty dang easy to make it look like you're coming from a different domain. So, yeah, Google, they like they said, they are obeying the lettering of the law, and that if you put in a right to be forgotten, at least in your country, or at least the country of origin for the European Union, you will not show up in those search results anymore to other people in your country. But yeah, I don't know. It's Google being a little cheeky there, but they are doing indeed what the court asked them to.
Yeah, well, they're complying with it, I guess so. Oh my goodness, so many stories, so little time. Here's one that I wanted to do. This was actually a clever one from yesterday. This is from CNET. There's a Kickstarter campaign to where basically it's augmented reality on a T-shirt that you wear, and if you wear this and you hold up a smartphone to this T-shirt, you get to see what your insides look like. Okay. They're calling it the virtuality, and you'll see a person's rib cage, their beating heart, and more if you want to, their liver, everything. It's like having X-ray vision. It's called the Virtual T, and it's an augmented reality T-shirt that reveals exactly what's going on inside your body. Specifically, when someone aims a phone, smartphone, or tablet at you while you're wearing this T-shirt, they'll see an animated X-ray style image of your innards. So, yes, is that creepy? Well, maybe a little, but also seriously cool and very educational. And there's actually a little video where you can see what this looks like, which is really cool, I think. So it goes on to, so that's the augmented reality version. You can tap on selected areas like the heart, the digestive system, to go further inside and learn about this person's body. In fact, when paired with a VR headset, and that could be anything from the Google Cardboard to to a Mattel Viewmaster to Samsung Gear VR, the Virtual T app takes you on a virtual tour of those areas. Now, the developer, called Curlscope, is seeking around $100,000 to turn this concept into a reality. As of this writing, the Kickstarter campaign has already raised over $13,000 with nearly a month left to go. Early backers can get a shirt in a choice of size and color, and the app for around $25. After the campaign, Curlscope expects to sell the shirts for $40. Delivery is planned for August, though, as with any crowd-funded project, that's just an estimate. So there you go. Virtual reality on a T-shirt. And what can I say? It looks really interesting. I've never seen quite anything like this.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't show you anything creepy, like it's actually their actual heart, but it's I think as a learning tool, like imagine if you're trying to learn anatomy in school, and you could have learned using something like this.
Yeah.
This is the kind of technology that makes education just so much more exciting. Is when you can see it in action. When you could, dress up a teacher in these kinds of clothes, and then just have kids with tablets, kind of walk around their teacher and just, examine, okay, so, that's the femoral artery that goes down to here and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it makes more sense when you see it in real time.
Yeah, it does.
Rather than just a textbook.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought it's a very interesting idea.
It was a very interesting story. So, but this next story, I'm just going to play this little video here if you're watching the video portion of our show. Yeah, it is the most adorable little octopus. And you're wondering, but what's so important about this octopus? Well, it doesn't have a name or a species because it is unidentified, and it is the first time ever it's been seen.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, researchers aren't used to seeing ghosts on the seafloor. This is, by the way, come from Popular Science. And yeah, it's an unknown species of octopus. And this was aboard the latest cruise of the submarine-controlled NOAA's Okeanos Explorer. They found an adorable octopod all ready for Halloween. Anyways, yeah, all ready for Halloween in the seafloor near Hawaii's Necker Island. The team working on the remote control submersible had captured other amazing sea life before, but nothing like this. The researchers were were sending a live stream of their exploration back to the shore, where land-based scientists were surprised by the apparition. The octopod is believed to belong to a completely unknown species and may even be part of a larger unknown genus.
Well,
so,
he's almost like translucent. He's like
obviously some sort of deep sea, because light obviously does not reach down to where he is, so there's really no point for pigmentation. But I mean, cute as a button.
Very cute, very cute.
And again, completely unknown. So this is this is the first time that really anyone has seen something like this.
Well, speaking of unknown and unseen, we could take that still with popular science. They have discovered a galaxy that is extremely far, far away. Hubble spots the most distant galaxy yet. Billions of light years away from us. Light from this galaxy hit a mirror in a solar-powered satellite orbiting the third planet of a medium-sized star. That's us. And the scientific community of the ruling species of the planet really got excited. And a paper published in the Astrophysical Journal, researchers announced that they observed a galaxy 150 million years older than the previous record holder. Basically, they'd taken a major step back in time beyond what they'd ever expected to do with the Hubble telescope. They managed to look back in time to measure the distance to a galaxy when the universe was only 3% of its current age. Wow. That means the galaxy formed just 400 million years after the Big Bang, when the universe was still really, really young. But its ancient age isn't the only thing that has researchers so excited. It's also surprisingly bright and well populated with stars, producing roughly 24 new stars a year, a rate 20 times faster than our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Wow. By the way, we still beat it in terms of overall size. Our galaxy is 25 times larger than this one.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Late to the party, but the number one guy.
Yeah. The quote is, "It's amazing that a galaxy so massive existed only 200 million to 300 million years after the very first stars started to form. It takes really fast growth, producing stars at a huge rate, to have formed a galaxy that is a billion solar masses so soon." This is according to Garth Illingsworth, who was the co-author of this. Though this is an amazing achievement, the astrophysical community hopes that the record will soon be broken again once the long-anticipated James Webb Space Telescope launches in October of 2018, which is going to be even better than the Hubble. Wow. But still, they keep finding these things.
Yeah, the Hubble telescope is still, still going along, but think about all the improved technology that we've had over, the lifespan of the Hubble. It's going to be really, very interesting when we get something much, much better up there and start seeing these things in more detail. But I mean, even so, that's an old galaxy.
Yes, it is.
Right. So
you have time for one more story? I think we do. Yeah.
I think we do. All right. Solar powered water filters. Why not? This one is from TechHive, friends of the show, TechHive. So Ecomo's solar-powered water filter identifies contaminants and makes specific filter recommendations. This is the smart water filter fits on faucets, mugs, or bottles. It analyzes the water for impurities and then recommends which type of filter you should use to remove them. Taking the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and technology startup Ecomo aims to change that with a smart filter that analyzes the water and sends a report to your smartphone via Bluetooth. The report tells you just what's in the water and makes a recommendation of the type of filter you should use to clean it. Ecomo will detect several types of contaminants, including heavy metals, turbidity, which is the presence of particulate in matter, and total dissolved solids, bacteria, total organic carbon, and pH. Using the Ecomo will be a two-step process where you run the water through the sensor to analyze it, and then a second time with the recommended filter before you drink it. And an LED on the solar-powered sensor glows green, yellow, or red to inform you that the water is safe to drink. So yeah, I think that's a pretty it's a pretty simple idea that this filter you send through once, sends you an analysis, and then you try it again, and it sends you, okay, you're good to go. But yeah, I do like how it fits onto water bottles and it fits onto sinks and faucets and things like that. But yeah, I just thought that was a neat idea for water filters.
Yeah, exactly. We have one quick one here. I kind of teased it. Basically, scientists are working on a battery using carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which could replace phone and electric car batteries. And I'm reading this story again. This is from TLN, and I take this with a grain of salt because I've read so many about new battery technology that's just around the corner, and this is what this is about. This new battery that's going to work off of carbon dioxide. I'll believe it when I see it, because so many times, I mean, you read about, oh, this new battery is around the corner, and we never get to see them. We're still on lithium-ion batteries. We're still using battery technology from the 18th, 19th century. That hasn't changed much.
19th century? When did lithium-ion come out?
I mean, really old. We're using the same battery technology that we've used basically since batteries were invented. And what I'm saying is that we really need to find, because we can do so much more with our mobile technology if we just had the battery power to support it. And but anyway, I just thought to mention this one, that they supposedly coming out with this new one using carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which basically would give you almost an unlimited amount of battery power, which is the way this works. So. As I said, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, Ben, I pretty much ends the show. Again, I want to thank our guest for UniKey.
90 seconds.
From the first hour, Dirk Wyckoff. Again, thanks, talking about the UniKey technology. We're going to actually try that out, by the way. I didn't failed to mention that. We're going to actually try this out on our home and see how well it works. And we will pass that information along to you as well. In the meantime, the weekend is upon us. And then on Monday, we're going to have a company called All Go Systems on here, which has it's about a unified device manager for media and mirroring detection and control. We'll talk about that. And then the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Next week's going to be a lot of our correspondents. It's going to be Gamer Tuesday with Josh Boykin. Sandy Berger's going to be here. Ralph Bond's going to be here as well. Next week, it's going to be a fun week with our correspondents. But that wraps it up again. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Have a great weekend. And Ben and I will see you here on Monday, same time, same place. So until Monday afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Bye, everyone.
We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
10 seconds.
Woohoo!
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. And Ben and I will see you here on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.